From the Business Insider by Aaron McDowell and Gabby Shaw, Disneyland admission was $1 on opening day in 1955. See how Disney park prices have skyrocketed since. Now, this is an article that goes on. You see them all the time. We cover it too. Just how much Disney parks have gotten more and more and more expensive, even to the point now that you can't afford it. It says, adjusting for inflation, the cost of a Disney ticket at Disneyland when it opened would be $6 and $12 for children and adults, respectively, with an additional $1 to $4 charge per ride. That's adjusted for inflation. That's what Disney would have charged for it back then, today, adjusted for inflation. However, today, the cheapest ticket to Disney World is a single day, single park ticket from $119, and that is available for 2 days out of the year. It's usually $200 or more, especially with taxes. It's over $200. It says Disney began implementing dynamic pricing in 2016, so days with higher demand, such as weekends or holiday breaks, are more expensive. It means that at some points throughout the year, a one-day ticket to a single park in Orlando can cost $200. It always does. It just does. Annual passes can now reach north of $1,600 with taxes north of $1,800, and that's just the beginning. And so, folks, what are we getting at? Also out of Business Insider, the Disney adults can no longer afford their Disney parks. The article in question here by Jessica Orwig, Liz Rowley, and Nikita Grant says, I've gone to Disney parks every year for decades. As prices rise, here's what I still splurge on and skip. This is our young lady who's going to give us the tour de pain, not tomorrow, but tour de pain when it comes to how much money you can expect to rain out of your wallet. Sarah, I don't know how to pronounce her last name, visits Disney parks multiple times a year, but rising costs are an increasing concern. Here's what she says, okay? I'm going to read this to you. I remember meeting Goofy, Gorsh, at Disney World for the first time as a toddler in my stroller.
Oh, my.
Maybe it's hard to remember from your year. Okay, we'll give it to her. I looked up and there he was leaning over me. I've pretty much been a diehard Disney fan ever since. Okay, we got it. How much is she spending though? Here's what it says. I have the added benefit of being a Disney Vacation Club member since 2002. She's spending money, which comes with many discounts, including on dining, merchandise, and special events. Still, as Disney's rising prices continue, even she, a dink-a-mon-dinks, has had to cut back. I said dink, ladies and gentlemen. It's a Disney adult, okay? Higher prices haven't stopped how often I visit Disney, but they have made me reconsider quite a bit of what I do while I'm there. Here's what I still find worth spending my money on. She says she has to do an annual pass. If you scroll down, says don't spend on premium shortcuts or add-ons. She doesn't buy Lightning Lane. She doesn't do VIP tours. She's had to cut back on tours and special activities. She'll always spend on food, but she's selective. Mm-hmm. And she also goes on to talk about Run Disney and how she does marathons and stuff. You be the judge, but she says she does marathons and stuff, and that's one thing she's still willing to pay big bucks on. We'll scroll down here. This is her saying that she's doing the marathon. You get the idea. Go, win, win, win. We're all about that. So keep running. These are articles now that are all over the web talking about just how expensive Disney World is, Disneyland too. Disney World's worse though. And the idea is the average person simply can't afford to do Disney anymore unless you're a Floridian. But if you're not a Floridian, it is just too expensive now for most middle-class families to visit. Vash, I'm going to go to you first on this because you have a theory as to why Disney is doing this. We've talked about it before. Disney not interested in increasing capacity, but rather in going for the global elites. Vash, are they pricing out the American middle class?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and that's definitely been a concerted effort to do that. I mean, they are maximizing what the market will bear for any of these things. I think Business Insider did a really great YouTube video actually showcasing the prices between 2009 and 2026 and how, just stuff like ear bands, for example, ear headbands going for $11.95 back in 2009, and now they're well over $40 in some cases.
Quadrupled in 10 years.
Exactly. Disney pins, for example, going for $9 now, well over $13, maybe even more than that. Pretzels, Mickey pretzels that are so iconic and so intertwined into the iconography of the parks, going from $3.79 to now well over $9. Churros going from $2.39 to now well over $6 or $7. It's just all of these things that add up. So even if you were to have a very similar vacation than when you had before and experiencing the same things, those things will have well outpaced the rate of inflation. And that's how they're maximizing this kind of revenue intake that you see on these quarterly earnings reports. It shouldn't surprise anybody that for the first time ever, the experiences division achieved a well over $10 billion revenue figure for the quarter. And when you look at the profit margins at $3 billion, it's a very aggressive way of making money. But honestly, the resorts, or the experiences division, I should say, has really had to do that in order to fund what Disney's doing within entertainment and so forth. When you have a Tron Ares, for example, lose $200 million, or a Snow White lose $400 million, and so forth, those have to be made up somewhere. And unfortunately, it's been at the experiences division. Likewise with Disney Plus, right? To make that huge gamble work, it had to really come from somewhere. And unfortunately, the experiences division had to take the brunt of that. The other way too, as Pro alluded to, was maximizing on these very top end experiences, right? Like for example, you have at Disneyland 21 Royal Street, that very exclusive dining experience in which I believe it's about $15,000 to dine in there. And so people will usually try to max out their party, right? And have everybody kind of split the check. But still, you're talking about this deluxe experience that didn't exist 10 years ago, but is now part of the roster there. You have extra cost experiences like fireworks viewing, for example. We're seeing that out. They're trying to put that out in Disneyland, but we've seen that as a mainstay for Walt Disney World. And these go beyond the parks themselves, right? If you want to go ahead and watch the fireworks viewing from like a boat, for example, out there on Seven Seas Lagoon at night, you can do that at an elevated price point. You have like the bungalows, right, for the Polynesian. That's an extra cost to add on that really tries to tie into that very exclusive elite market, that upper 20% and so forth. And,
I think upper 5%.
Trying to do.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about very exclusive experiences, but the idea being that your whales provide you 80% of your overall revenue. That's certainly something that they've tried to really maximize on.
Absolutely. And this is a great meter that shows how much Disney has outstripped inflation. Folks, just take a look at that chart. It is absolutely insane.
Absolutely.
Disney tickets, and we're going to keep watching this all the way through the modern time because it actually gets worse. Right here, it's going to accelerate. This is bonkers, and this is why they have decided, basically at Disney World, they've decided, and then it got worse after the pandemic, they have basically decided that what they're going to do is they're going to reach out to the very, very global elite, and then they milk them as best they can. And then because there are few of those, but they'll pay way more than the average person can, they have few of those at the parks, and they pad it out with locals to make it seem like it's busy still. And then there's nothing to do, so it seems busy still. Vash, we're going to pause that one, and we'll come back to that because I want to keep going to that. That's great B-roll. But here's the end of that article that talks about the Disney adult who can no longer afford it. I want you to hear what this person says, what Sarah tells us it's like. I treat Disney like others would treat a lake house. This is what the Disney adult experience has become. Some people go to the same lake every summer. Disney is that place for me. I don't rush from ride to ride anymore. I walk around Epcot with a drink. I people watch. I talk with my parents, my husband, my friends. That's what I'm paying for. As Disney gets more expensive, I've learned to separate what feels meaningful from what feels transactional. I still spend money there, just not on everything. MJ, when we are comparing to Disney to owning a lake house, that means it's expensive now.
Oh yeah, definitely. Usually your average American family, they'll do like an annual trip to the lake house or the cabin or a place that they, enjoy spending. And I understand her. I feel her 100%. I grew up Disney, going to the parks, and my mom was a tour guide in Disneyland back in the 70s. It's just a thing in our family. That's what we always did every year. And I feel her 100%. I already go with the mindset of, okay, I'm just going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to purchase these things. We're not going to purchase that. And it can wait. But you know, it's unfortunate that it came down to this, because that means that the company has lost sight of the people that helped build it up. Because if it wasn't for her parents and her grandparents, it wouldn't have been the company that it is. It was the films and the experience in the parks that brought us in. The music, the films, the animation. We fell in love with the characters. I mean, I can hear it now. Roger, darling, hit it. We'll have an inflation sensation all across the resorts. You know, they might as well put a song like that together, because it $18-20 for one balloon. I told my daughter, I says, you know, okay, for your birthday, we'll get you the balloon. On an average day, we're going to the park. You don't need a balloon or the bubble wand. We'll bring the one we have from home. I'll get some refillable bubbles at the Dollar Tree. It's done.
That's what's amazing is those things you could literally buy them on Amazon and take them with you and then pull them out when it's time for that to start, so your kid doesn't ask for them, because you're going to pay 1/10 or 1/12 on Amazon what you'll pay at the park for. I mean, and they've got you there. They know that kids are going to beg. That's the whole idea. They're going to beg for it, beg for it, beg for it. But they're also now at this point that if you're a 60-year-old, guy who's made a lot of money and you take your family to Disney, they want your young adults to also beg you for all this stuff too. Now, that's the idea, not just the bubble wands, but they want to beg, please take us to Tiffins. Ron, your thought on just how expensive it is to go to Disney. What would you recommend for a family to consider for a single day when it comes to these expenses?
If you're just going on vacation, if you're not from Florida, you're going on vacation, a family of four,
$1,000 a day easy.
I was going to say, I don't think you can expect less than $1,000 a day. Yeah. And honestly, I think we're at the point where if you want to have the quality of Disney vacation that, let's say that I came from Missouri in 2006 to have a Disney vacation. I think it was about $3,500 for the whole thing. A week. It was a week long. That included that $3,500. Included the dining plan, included all the tickets, included all the hotel stay. That was everything. Was that $3,500? I would say for a family of four. We were a family of five, so that was family of five. So for a family of five, the equivalent. This is now 20 years later, so let's give it that. I'm going to say it's $15,000 minimum, maybe $20,000 for that exact same experience. And of course. And you have to filter in the fact that back then we had free fast passes. Now you have to pay for lightning lanes, any type of additional thing that you want to pay for, like the dessert party in front of the castle for the fireworks, or maybe you want to do the pirate tour or whatever. The Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, all of these other things that are these extra expenses that cost more and more and more. And Disney used to be the place that did not nickel and dime you to death. You used to be able to know what your vacation was going to cost, yep, speaking before you went. Now it is nickel and dime everything. Like literally, it's so much. It's really funny. You talk about the Polynesian Bora Bora bungalows, what they call them. It costs more to stay in a Polynesian Bora Bora bungalow than it does to stay in an actual bungalow in Bora Bora.
The amazing thing is, so I just decided to see how much it would cost to do Disney without any of the tricks, and it was easily over $1,000 a day. One of the things that amazed me, one of the things that I decided, no, I'm not going to take the hurt here because I don't have to. I know how much it's going to cost. I decided to rent basically a home. And I'm talking about, now I had people with me, right? I had a little bit of a team with me to help me do B-roll and all that kind of stuff. So we rented a 3-story home in Orlando, and rented it for the same price per night as a moderate Disney hotel room. That would have been 2 beds, 2 beds, single room with a bathroom in a moderate hotel at Disney. We rented a 3-story home for that price. Yeah, that is how insane it is now.
Some of those houses are like even decked out with Disney decor, and I've seen where they sleep up to 20 people, and they're like $450 a night.
There's like these insane Airbnbs that have like Star Wars rooms and Harry Potter themed rooms. It is absolutely incredible the way that they really are competing with the with the resorts. On
and a
every
private
level.
pool, a private pool instead of a
Right.
public pool.
Right. With the
Yeah.
jacuzzi and whatnot. Yeah. I mean, gotta love
And one of the
that.
reasons why those prices have been so aggressive is, you know, the acceleration of DVC, right, and the pushing of DVC. If they know that people might pay the base price for hotel rooms, but they also know that if they jack it up enough, that encourages or incentivizes DVC sales, and in which people, you know, lay down tens of thousands of dollars in order to pre-buy vacations, which, you know, is not really a great strategy. But there's been so many different things to get more out of visitors when they actually visit the Magic Kingdom or Disneyland, for example. I know that the Phantasmic dining packages and the sequestration of so much of the reserved viewing just for that program alone has been a huge boon every single night for the playing of that show. And it's just something that didn't exist 10 years ago. This is also why I think the all-inclusive nature of the cruise lines has really become so attractive rather than the park experience, because they know that they're going to get in basically at a set price. Now, we've seen a little bit of that mentality of nickel and diming make its way into the cruise line, but it hasn't gotten to unbelievable levels. We've seen the inclusion of bars that aren't necessarily inclusive, all-inclusive and so forth. But it's just this mentality of we are going to take experiences that were previously included and make them, you know, so that they are now additional add-ons like Lightning, for example, or we are going to provide these extra deluxe experiences that we previously never had in order to make the most out of this kind of 1 percentile of guests. We saw that a little bit even with like Cabanas in Tomorrowland. Do you remember that whole program? That didn't last very long, but that's where they're going. That's where they want to go.
How long before we get to Bubble One shots for adults? Like,
oh my!
And you know, those bubble ones are really, really cute. If you take care of it, it will last, and you don't have to like keep buying them. We just get the refillable, you know, the bubbles at the dollar store and take it with us. You just have to be economical, and you know, you don't need everything. But I mean, Pro is right. When it comes to certain things, I have that little guy, and I refuse to call him his new name now, by the way. I have him, and his name is Peg Like Pete, and he's right over there. I'm not going to call him, what is this guy, Rummy the rum drinking bird? What is this parrot called?
Peg Leg. He's still Peg Leg. We're keeping it.
He's still Peg Like Pete to me.
That's right.
But that's a cool experience. I mean, this place, it looks interactive. I'll give it to them. They have, you know, a refreshment available for kiddos there. It's got like chocolate and cookies, and I don't even know what the drink is, but I mean, it's doable. I would highly consider getting a reservation there, but you guys are absolutely right. You just got to pick and choose what you want. You can't go splurging on every ears that they're selling. You know, you just get the one that really catches your eye, and it's really girly more than for guys, right? It's the girl, oh, I like the Cinderella ones. Oh, I want this one. You know, it's like, you just know what you like and know what you want, and you go there and you have that budgeted and accounted for. And I can't stress enough for people in groups or families, just go to BJ's and get gift cards at a discounted price and take those with you, and you would spend less money. That's just a little tip and trick, if you will.
Folks, bottom line, I know ways to get the price down, but these are ways that, you know, we don't even talk about them because I'm afraid Disney would strike them down as soon as I told you. For the typical family, the 99%, getting it down below $1,000 per day is going to be really tough, even with every trick. I'm talking about if you pack your food and take it through security. Yeah, it's still going to be really difficult to stay below $1,000 per day for Disney Vacay in 2026. And I'm sorry, but for my money, I think I'm going to Epic.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media account.